Bungie, y'all are killing me. Stop dropping these on Wednesdays. We're gonna do another one of these just because I want to, and to just remind people that I do variety content, asterisk, on this channel sometimes. To be fair, I don't think I'm probably streaming tonight anyways, so this video will probably go up in place of a stream, so I'm at least being a good content creator. All that aside, let's hop right into things. Season 21 weapon changes preview. Chris Proctor, blah blah blah. Weapons blog, reticle demo. I'm assuming showing off new types of reticles they're doing. Okay, they look to player feedback. Reticles convey less info at high FOVs, information that isn't obvious mid-combat, and exotic weapons whose perks stay can be hard to track. I've rebuilt several weapons reticles to address them. Okay. Yeah. We rebuilt the reticles for the following weapon types so that they move more visibly at high FOV while still conveying the current state of weapon accurately. Fusion rifles, hand cannons, sidearms, and trace rifles, so they'll be more consistent if you're hip firing and running around. Cool. Plan to update other weapon reticles in a similar way in future releases. Sounds like this is just the ones that got finished this patch, and they'll reduce more of these in the future. Shotgun reticles will also do it because they already did the shotgun rework, so I guess that makes sense. Cool. Charge meters, fusion rifles, and sword guard are critical aspects of the weapons, which until now required relying on cues built into the weapon's visuals or audios. We've updated their hipfire reticles to include this information as well. I don't know if the video shows off that information. If it does, very cool. I'll have to go watch it later. I'm just kind of talking through what the changes are. Those are nice, though. This isn't, like, super important or super, like, mind-blowing, but it's, like, just nice quality of life, and I appreciate that. Experimental aim-down sights reticle, or hipfire reticles, blah, blah, blah. Experimenting with an approach that keeps the hand-built aesthetic of weapon sight or scope, but replaces the center crosshair red dot with a variant of the hipfire reticle. Better we get this into your hands and see how it feels in the live game before looking into this type of reticle further. So Shire's Wrath now has aim-down sights reticle, reacts to the weapon's accuracy and auto-aim state, and ties into the red reticle, meaning this will change color on enemies within that weapon's engagement range and is under the reticle. So they're experimenting with stuff, and they're not full sending it yet, from the sounds of it. I can't really fault them sometimes. Sometimes changes like this often are hard to test in a small environment, like inside a QA testing of a game dev studio, so just throwing it out into the open world isn't a terrible idea, assuming it doesn't break anything. Please don't break anything. Please don't break anything. Please don't break anything. Custom exotic weapon reticles. Plenty of exotics have perks. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, felt they have perks. I'm trying to read quickly, so apologies. I'm trying to get to the stuff that matters. Exotics already convey their state word included. Specific additions to the exotics are charge meters on Devil's Ruin, Salvation's Grip, and Grant Overture. That's pretty good. Perk counter shows pips for perked shots, Quicksilver Storm Grenade count, Ace of Spades Momentum Mori shot count, Lumina Noble rounds count, Traveler's Chosen Gathering Light stacks. That's cool. Manticore perk progress meter shows perk buildup for the Manticore. That's the one that lets you float. Pretty cool. And these show you when the exotic perk is active: Hawkmoon, Aegir's, Teraba, Touch, Cryosthesia, Trinity Ghoul, and changed the meter and perk counter for Mythoclast. It sounds like a lot of these things, some of these things were just a random buff that you had. And it sounds like they're moving these to your reticle so that you can avoid just kind of screen bloat, which is something they've had problems with lately because of all the new additions to your freaking pile of perks on the left side of your screen. There's inspection screen improvements. All right. With the release of Season of the Deep, we're also doing an overhaul to where we showcase weapons. Rotate them around the same way you did Sparrow or piece of armor. Yes. This is something I love doing, and like Borderlands has had this feature for forever where you can just like spin the weapon any way, shape, or form. Really happy they're finally adding that. Added support for ambient VFX to play for weapons that have them. Very cool, because there's quite a few weapons that look a lot better in-game than in menus because they have ambient VFX. It does apply to your inventory and also when inspecting ornaments in Eververse store. These tech improvements have had compounding benefits, and able to also allow you to rotate ships, preview their contrails. Cool. That matters a lot, because the butt of a ship is the thing you see the most as you fly around in space. Also, there's a field blur. That's cool. Okay, so full auto melee. We've implemented a matching full auto melee setting that lets you continue meleeing, attacking with your fist, charge melee, sword, glaive, or roaming super melee by holding down the appropriate input. I think this is just more accessibility options. Very cool. Very much a fan of it. It's just an accessibility option for people who have a bit more trouble using like spamming mouse inputs or spamming trigger inputs. Stuff that like automatic full auto is really nice for those types of people. And I'm just really happy. It's more really good accessibility. GG's on that. Weapon archetypes. Alright, bows. Tyranny of Heaven stats were weirdly low, and we were touching these weapons anyway, so often updated stats while we were in there. SMGs. Aggressives are insane in PvP. We know. Reduced base damage. Okay. Increased precision hit multiplier. That's an okay change. So that like it loses a tiny bit of crit damage, but it's like mostly similar. Reduced base range by 10. Goodbye, the immortal. This won't kill the gun. The gun will still be S tier, don't get me wrong. But that's quite funny. Reduced base range by 10. That's a solid nerf. Goodbye, friend. I will not miss hearing in the Crucible all the time. Snipers. Rapid fire stance get a large reserve bump, recoil, blah blah blah. PvE damage by 10%. Izanagi's burden shots don't receive this buff. All other exotic snipers receive the buff as written. So Izanagi's doesn't get the buff. I think they think Izanagi's is fine, which is fair. It probably is. It's still pretty strong. But this does mean that, like Cloud Strike, for example, it gets a really solid 10% PvE damage buff. That might be good enough to bring it up in a, into like the middle of the pack. It was already pretty alright. Scouts. Long arm was inadvertently receiving damage bonus versus minors for exotics. We've addressed that. It still receives the Scout Rifle PvE damage buff from the 20 mid-season balance updates. Sure. Exotics! Eyes of Tomorrow? Killing 4 targets with a missile volley will refund 1 ammo. I like that. I like that a lot. That is a really nice buff for Eyes of Tomorrow to make it go back to being a just exotic that sits in the slot. Galley kind of took its spot when Galley came out, because Galley was just spam fire, repeat ad nauseum. If you can kill 4 targets and you get ammo refunded, this means that for like casual play, not like casual, but like probably like low manning, like lower amounts of people in the fire team, you know, like 3-person activities or just running around on patrol or running around in lost sectors. Eyes of Tomorrow is we have to jump up in value just a little bit from that. Graviton Lance. Okay. So they basically retuned it to Revision Zero's burst. Increased RPM. Reduced burst delay by 20%. So now, yeah, it's literally matching Revision Zero. That takes away a little bit of its uniqueness, but Revision Zero's 2-round burst is pretty consistent and cool. Damage per shot got adjusted. It looks like it is an increase in body shot and an increase in crit damage on the first shot and a slight decrease in the second shot. I don't know if that's going to be good for that gun or not, but we'll find out, right? I hope that's a really good buff for it. Graviton Lance is a fun gun. Jade Rabbit. Added buff text. Cool. 3 critical hits. Now refunds 3 shots instead of 1. Cool. They give it a Giga triple tap. I'm cool with that. Jade Rabbit's not very good anyways, and this will help anyone who wants to try and use it. Manticore. Increase the catalyst damage resistance from tier 3 to tier 4. Nice. Okay. Don't know what that means, but if that actually makes you tanky enough to use the Manticore, sure. Increased movement speed during hang time. Thank God you were as slow as a turtle. Activating the Catalyst perk now partially refills the magazine. Good. Luminous cap was 5. Increased an overrun cap from 5 to 6. Sure. Whatever. That's not a huge deal. Heart Shadow. Damage increase now activates quicker while invisible from after a quarter of a second instead of an entire second. And now weakens upon dealing any damage. Okay, that's a good change. This won't pull it up into meta, but it'll be like the change to Eyes of Tomorrow. In my opinion, this will make it more of like a fun 3-person activity weapon. Like, you know, anything below GM Nightfalls. Maybe fun running around in a dungeon or something like that. Worldline Zero. Sprinting heavy attack can now be chained into itself once. Yo, double spin to win. That's hot. I actually kind of like that. I actually kind of like that a lot. Decrease damage from an individual sprinting attack by 25% to compensate. That's fine. Being able to double spin to win is just cool and fun, which is kind of what that gun needs. Sweet business. Now fires explosive rounds every 20 shots. Faster while spun up. I'm going to assume that means like every like 10 shots probably. That's okay. Acreus. Total ammo from 12 to 16. Good. Maximum projectile distance from 9 to 12. Good. Acreus might be usable now. It was always fine, but this is just like... No one used it because it had really crap range, and only 12 shots means you dumped ammo, and you're like, well, I'm done. This is really nice. I think Acreus might be a kind of sleeper hit. Tommy's Matchbook. While overheated, sustained fire scorches? Sure, that sounds fun. Maybe not good, but fun. I like the thematic updates, even if they're not like super good. No time to explain wouldn't work against anti-barrier champions, so we fixed that, and also made the drone work with Feeding Frenzy. It works with anti-barrier and Feeding Frenzy. And this is through the feedback for Feeding Frenzy would always play when the players spawned in and then never again. I'm okay with that. Buff Skyburner's Oath Solar buff. Who cares? That gun's still going to be bad. Salvation's Grip has 2 firing modes now. Charge shots create a pattern of stasis crystals. Uncharged shot is a normal grenade launcher shot, which does more damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. New perk that reloads the magazines from reserves when you quickly shatter at least 3 crystals with an uncharged shot. Sounds like they're making it be a kind of an ad clear heavy that kind of cycles. AoE shot that freezes, normal shot that explodes. AoE shot that freezes, normal shots that explodes. If it works, that's cool. If it doesn't, oh well, so nothing of value will be lost. Salvation's Grip hasn't seen play in a long time. That Juju was originally set up to use auto rifle recoil. Okay. I don't think that'll make Bad Juju usable, but thank you. Fighting Lion. It was doing more damage than intended to red bar combatants. Whatever. Thunderlord. Lightning strikes at a higher frequency than intended. So does that mean that the Thunderlord being OP in like in the new raid was like a bug? Because technically speaking, it was doing bonus damage to Divinity. That would explain a lot. That's funny. Winter Bite. So they think they fixed it. We'll see. Winter Bite's been broken like 7 times. Perks, Fragile Focus buff. That might be okay for PvP people. Doesn't matter for PvE. Thresh Demolitionist and Pugilist are now getting bonuses to glaives as well. Okay, so like all other special weapons got like more bonuses from these perks than glaives did previously. It looks like they're bringing glaives up. That's fine. Reconstruction has been simplified under the hood, so we can place the perk on more weapons without exceeding perk budgets. Slight change to the timing of the perk, where the initial timer and cooldown are unified. The base perk is 4 seconds of before recharge, enhanced is 3.5 seconds. That's okay. Shoot to loot can pick up orbs of power, and this only works on direct hits. So, like, AoE splash damage, like from explosive rounds. Sounds like they're, oh, big sword update. That sounds cool. Yeah, overall, this is pretty much fine. This is a fine update. It sounds like there's a lot of quality of life in this, but to be fair, it sounds like Season 21 is going to be a little bit slower than this previous season in terms of new content. So I think they're just trying to make it all right, let's fix a bunch of stuff, make a bunch of stuff cooler, and then do like a solid mid-season patch that makes everything generally stronger as well. Or maybe just like bring some top-end stuff down like they kind of did with this patch. Overall, I think it sounds fine. I hope that these changes will be enough for some of these weapons. I really hope Isaac tomorrow can make a comeback, and at least casual content, because right now Galley just crushes it. Free ammo is a pretty good way to potentially bring it back, so we'll find out. Either way, this has just been me chatting about these changes. Hope you liked the content. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I hope to catch you in the next one.